Good day, YouTube. Dennis here with the Quack This Way YouTube channel and GodfreyDG.com. And I'm going to do a record a practice. As I mentioned before, I'm part of a group that comes together for accountability, and we have been studying connecting with others. How to connect, how to communicate when we're either talking to small groups, maybe as a pastor talking to big groups, whatever it is, how do we connect with that group we're talking? And this Thursday, which will be tomorrow for me, we are coming together and we're going to give a 5-minute presentation. So we got 5 minutes to talk and try and use some of those skills that we've learned to communicate to the group. And I'm going to take this time to do a practice, right? So I got some time. I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. Going to give my speech and we'll see where I'm at. I've been practicing a little bit. I keep coming up at about 4 minutes. So hopefully I can make this work. All right, here we go. Let's start. Oh, good day, everybody. How's it going? I know we're out here hearing some great speeches so far. And I got a question for you. Do you ever feel like you're doing someone else's job? Or maybe you feel like, man, where's everybody else that's working? Isn't there other people that are supposed to be working with me? I had this happen to me about a month ago. I am a Royal Ranger Commander. I work with 5th grade boys on our Wednesday night services. So I have about 15 to 20 boys come into a classroom and I work with them. So on that Wednesday, I have work. My wife works full-time at our church. So once I get off, I pick up my boys, I head to church, pick up some food, and I also get my daughter who goes to Faith Preschool at our church. And we sit down as a family, everybody except for my wife who's working, and we have dinner. So after that dinner concludes, I have to head up to my classroom. I got to be there about 6:30. So that's kind of the policy for kids. We like to be at the classroom at 6:30. That allows time for other people who might be working in other areas of the church to drop off their kids and get to go do their jobs. And as parents are coming in, we're there to receive the kids. But I realized this night about 10 minutes till, 5 minutes till, I'm looking around at the boys and I'm like, I don't even have very many 5th graders in this room. I got 2nd graders, 3rd graders, 4th graders. My room is full, but they're not the kids that are supposed to be there. And the brain starts working. You start to think like, man, where are the other commanders? Why aren't they here? It's like 5 minutes till service start. They should have their kids in their classroom and be going. And you kind of start to think negatively. It's times like this I'm reminded of what's called the 80-20 rule. It's a unique thing. I've seen it throughout the military. I've seen it through other parts of my career. And it's where 20% of the people do 80% of the work, right? Maybe in an organization that you have to deal with, you spend 80% of your time working with the 20% of the trouble employees or maybe the trouble customers. It's an interesting ratio. And even at this church, we're a large church, maybe only 20% of the church volunteers and works and helps, right? 80% just come to service and then may not even stay till the end. They leave early. Or even within the volunteers, you have all the volunteers. 20% of the volunteers typically are doing more work than the others that are kind of carrying the load. You see it everywhere. But even with that being said, I love it. And it reminds me, more importantly, of the moment in Matthew chapter 9 at the end. And it talks about how Jesus was walking and he saw the multitudes, right? He looks out and he sees the people and he says they're weary and scattered as sheep without a shepherd, right? And he says to his disciples, pray to the Lord of the harvest, right? Because the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. He says, pray to the Lord of the harvest that he will send workers into his harvest. And it's such a great thing to remember. But the key part here I want you to remember, when you are in this situation, you're working, you're like, why am I always here first? Why am I setting up the chairs? Why am I taking the chairs away? Why am I putting in the time when nobody else is there? Why do I spend 3 to 5 hours every week to prepare for and then teach 15 5th graders for free? Why do I do that? Or why do you do what you do in service in different parts of the ministry, and often without getting paid for it, right? Why do we do this? And it's as Jesus said right here. The Bible says Jesus felt compassion for them, right? He was compassionate. He saw them, right? The lost, the scattered, the weary. And that's what you can remember when you're in those times that you're there laboring, that we pick up our cross and we follow Jesus, that Jesus made the ultimate sacrifice and he had compassion on us, that he went to the cross and he died for us, that he loved us so much to remember that we're serving him. We're servant leaders. Where the least will be the greatest, and we do it willingly, gratefully, and remembering what Jesus did for us. And that is why I'm excited now when I'm in those moments that I know that I'm doing it for God and not for myself. Because if I was doing it for myself, I wouldn't be there. God bless you. All right, let's see. Oh, I have 40 seconds left. Stumbled over my words a little bit. However, it's pretty good. I got about 5 times of practice. Went pretty well. I know that if you're given 5 minutes, you want to probably be within 30 seconds of that 5 minutes, and hopefully that will work out well tomorrow. So I practiced about 5 times. I think I'm projecting a little bit of excitement in my voice. As I mentioned in my video yesterday, I need to be a little more excited as I communicate, not so humdrum, monotone, but put that in there. So I thank you for watching this video. Like, subscribe, comment down below on how you think I did. What can I do to improve? Did you feel connected when I was giving that speech? In that moment, did the message connect with you? I know you probably have been there where you're wondering why this worker that's with you is complaining and you're like, you don't even do much work, right? As we serve. So again, I want to say God bless you. We'll see you around.